Sri Lanka's economy has completely collapsed, says despairing Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. India stands ready to help Sri Lanka in quick economic recovery through promoting investments, connectivity and strengthening economic linkages, Indian Foreign Ministry spokesman Arindam Bakshi posted on Twitter. Sri Lanka's Prime Minister says its debt-laden economy has collapsed after months of food, fuel and electricity shortages, and the South Asian island nation cannot even purchase imported oil. We are now facing a far more serious situation beyond the mere shortages of fuel, gas, electricity and food. Our economy has completely collapsed. That is the most serious issue before us today, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe told Parliament on Wednesday. Currently, the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation is $700 million in debt, he told MPs. As a result, no country or organization in the world is willing to provide fuel to us. They are even reluctant to provide fuel for cash, he said. We need the support of India, Japan and China, who have been historic allies, he said. Colombo, 23rd June, News in Asia. A high-ranking Indian delegation including Vinay Quatra, Foreign Secretary, discussed Thursday with President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, the economic situation in Sri Lanka and the ways it is being addressed. They discussed promoting Indo-Lankan investment partnership in various areas including connectivity and renewable energy as part of their efforts to strengthen Sri Lanka's and India's economies. The Indian delegation left New Delhi with Ajay Seth, Secretary Department of Economic Affairs, and Dr. V. Anantha Nageswaran, Chief Economic Advisor, and Karit Pandey, Joint Secretary, Indian Ocean Regional Ministry of External Affairs. The two sides had a detailed discussion about the Sri Lankan economy and the efforts of the government of Sri Lanka towards economic recovery. Finance and Corporate Affairs Minister of India, Nirmala Sitharaman, assured the High Commissioner of Sri Lanka to India, Melinda Morogoda, of her full support and cooperation in the process of economic recovery in Sri Lanka. The Minister of India gave this assurance when High Commissioner Morogoda called on her on the 20th of June evening at the Ministry of Finance in New Delhi. This was the latest of a series of meetings High Commissioner Morogoda has had with the Minister Sitharaman on Indian economic cooperation and assistance to Sri Lanka in the context of the present crisis. High Commissioner Morogoda once again thanked Minister Sitharaman for the continuation of assistance that India is extending to Sri Lanka and particularly for expeditiously arranging a separate line of credit of $55 million granted on 10th June to import 65 million megatons of urea required for the current cultivation season in Sri Lanka. In response, Minister Sitharaman assured High Commissioner Morogoda of her full cooperation in the economic recovery process in Sri Lanka while expressing the hope that Sri Lanka would recover very soon, given the resilience of her people. Earlier in the day, High Commissioner Morogoda had also met with the External Affairs Minister of India, Dr. Jai Shankar, to discuss the way forward regarding Indian assistance in stabilizing and recovering the ailing Sri Lankan economy. 8th International Yoga Day celebrations were held under the patronage of Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe at Independence Square on the 21st of June. The Prime Minister and several other ministers also participated in the exercise. These are some of the pictures of that event presented to you. An International Monetary Fund (IMF) team arrives in Sri Lanka on Monday for talks on a bailout program. But time is short for a country just days from running out of fuel and likely months from getting any relief money. The IMF team visiting Colombo through June 30 will continue recent talks on what would be Sri Lanka's 17th rescue program, the IMF said on Sunday. We reaffirm our commitment to support Sri Lanka at this difficult time in line with the IMF policies, the global lender said in a statement.
That they are mainly considering the debt restructuring process to provide the assistance. But in my view, it will be slightly a slow process for us to get IMF money.
Colombo hopes the IMF visit, overlapping with debt restructuring talks, will yield a quick staff-level agreement and a fast track for IMF board disbursements. But that typically takes months, while Sri Lanka risks more shortages and political unrest. Even if a staff-level agreement is reached, final program approval will be contingent upon assurances that official creditors, including China, are willing to provide adequate debt relief, said Patrick Curran, senior economist at U.S. investment research firm, as reported by Al Jazeera. Businessman Dhammika Perera has been sworn in as a nationalist member of parliament for the Sri Lanka Podu Jana Peramuna today. That was before Speaker Mahinda Yapa Abeyewardena when parliament convened today. Dhammika Perera has been appointed as a nationalist member of parliament for the Sri Lanka Podu Jana Peramuna SLPP to fill the vacancy left by the resignation of the former Minister of Finance Basil Rajapaksa. 5 petitions had been filed in the Supreme Court challenging the appointment of Dhammika Perera as a Member of Parliament. The Supreme Court yesterday decided to dismiss the petitions without hearing them. Dhammika Perera is one of the richest people in the country. He is now 55 years old and owns nearly 23 companies, including private financial institutions. Dr. Petyagoda, appointed senior policy advisor to opposition leader, one of the Sri Lanka's leading naturalists and taxonomist on freshwater fish of Sri Lanka, Dr. Rohan Petyagoda has been appointed as senior policy advisor to opposition and SJP leader Sajith Premadasa. Following the appointment, Premadasa said, "Climate change is a real concern, and for any policy, its ecological impact has to be well understood. We believe his expertise will matter greatly in making balanced decisions." Cabinet approves amendments to the Constitution to appease protesters calling for President Gotabaya Rajapaksa to quit. The Sri Lankan cabinet has approved constitutional reforms that will limit the president's powers to appease the protesters calling for President Gotabaya Rajapaksa to quit the country's worst economic crisis in decades. The decision to amend the constitution to clip the president's wide-ranging powers was taken in a cabinet meeting on Monday, Dinuk Colombage, media advisor for Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, told Al Jazeera on Tuesday.
They are public servants, so we are here to say that our voices needs to be heard and it needs to be respected, and this crisis needs to end now because it has gone up to the limit that where people cannot bear anymore.
The crowds came from all of Sri Lanka's.
In conclusion, I would like to say that our big brother India would be ready to secure bridging finance until IMF facility becomes a reality. This is a great God-given relief for our suffering brothers and sisters in Sri Lanka. Hope this video presentation was useful. Stay safe and goodbye for now.